Welcome to this standing physical activity session that forms part of the University of Worcester's Staff Development and Wellbeing Programme. My name is Richard Dilworth and I'm the Operational Manager for the McClelland Centre. These sessions are aimed at those of you that are either working or studying from home and can be undertaken at any time. If you have a recent illness, injury, or you have an underlying medical condition that could be made worse by exercise, you might want to speak to your GP before you start. We're going to be working at a relatively low level of intensity. We use what's called an RPE, how hard does exercise feel? And on a scale of 1 to 10, we're going to be working around level 3 to 4, which is just slightly more intense than previous exercise sessions we've done. So you want to be standing in a comfortable position. Make sure you've got plenty of space around you, because we are actually going to be moving, so there's nothing in your way. You can work in your shoes, stocking feet or bare feet. If you're working in shoes, because we're going to be moving, make sure they're sensible shoes. So first of all, we're going to check that we're standing with our feet a comfortable distance apart. We start off roughly with them being 10 sport width apart, so your ankles, knees and hip joints are in line. We check to make sure we're balanced between our heels and our toes, between one foot and the other foot, and neither foot's all too far in around. We're forming a triangle or tripod on the bottom of your feet. We firm up the ankles, we soften off the knees. There's plenty of space at the top of the thighs and hip joint to allow your pelvis to rock back and forth. We're rolling a marble from your heels to your toes. No, we're not. From your toes to your belly button, rather. And then we're going to find a balanced position somewhere in the centre. Then we're going to allow the pelvis to rock from one side to the other and find a balanced position. We drop sit bones, which are normally bits on your bottom that you normally sit on one side then the other, but eventually find somewhere where that all feels balanced. So your pelvic bones and your pubic bone are level and in line. And then the lower part of the body is going to support the full length of your spine. You're going to make sure you've got the natural curve in the lower part of the back, the ribs are nice and soft, the space between your collarbones, your shoulder blades, your shoulders and your ears, and your arms are going to hang by your side. And your head's in a balanced position at the top of the shoulders, so you've got the natural curve at the back of the neck. And you just move out the muscles of the face, you find a comfortable position for your tongue in your mouth, so you're not holding on to any unnecessary tension. You can take a few deep breaths into the side, front and back of the ribs. Feel the ribs expand, breathing out to compress the rib cage so that you're squeezing the air from your lungs. So naturally you engage muscles deep in the abdomen that helps provide stability. So we're going to start to move just gently from one foot to the other. So we're going to do what's called a step and touch from side to side. A little bend in the knees. Then we start to move the feet a little bit further apart. We start to shift the weight of the body from one leg to the other. So there's a bit more of a bend in the knee. And there's a little bit of a side bend from one side to the other. And you'll notice when you do that, you're actually naturally lifting one shoulder slightly higher than the other. We're going to do that a little bit more now as you start to shrug at those shoulders, one side then the other. And then we can do both shoulders at the same time. And then we start to roll the shoulders forward and back, so the arms start to rotate. And then we start to circle the shoulders, pulling them forward, up, back and down. And then we can start to do one shoulder at a time. And we can start to make those movements bigger. So we take those shoulder circles into arm circles, lifting all the way up and over if you can. Then looking through the corner of your eyes, you start to turn your head in the direction that you're looking. And we're then going to start to reach in the direction that you're looking and returning your head. So we're adding rotation through the upper part of your body. We're going to keep the arm movement going, bring your gaze to the centre, and bring your feet so you just step and touch again from one foot to the other. And then change the arm movement to a bicep curl. So we're going to keep the arm movement going, but now we're going to take 2 steps to the side and 2 steps back. Are you ready? Let's go. Bend the knees over your toes. Keep the arm movements going for a little bit longer until we change it to an upright row, where we pull the elbows up and out to the side. Put more space between your collarbones. Your hands stay underneath your shoulders. We're going to change this arm movement to an arm crossover, where you're crossing the arms over the chest, putting those elbows back in line with your shoulders. And then we're going to change this arm movement to a forward row. And we can add a little hamstring curl to your leg movement. So we're going to change the arm movement to a shoulder press, as if you're putting something above your head. Still keeping those hamstring curls going. We're going to change the arm movement as if we're going to pull ourselves up onto something with a lat pull. Pulling your elbows into your side. So you get a real sense of length through the body as you pull yourself up. We keep this arm movement going, but we go back to just that step and touch from one foot to the other. And then we change the arm movement as we roll the arms across the body to a pec deck. And we keep the arm movement going, but just step back with one foot, then the other. Stepping onto the ball of the foot, letting the leg lengthen, and setting the heel down towards the floor. We're going to step back with the one foot and hold it back there, then bend the back knee, take it into a lunge. Dropping that back knee towards the floor, bending the front knee in line with the toes. Keeping the arm curls going, breathing out as you go down, spring it back up. Just one more time, then go back to that step and touch from one foot to the other. Hands on the chest, then press them out in front of you. As we press the arms forward and back, change the leg movement to that step back behind again. Stepping back onto the ball of the foot, allowing the heel to sink towards the floor. Getting a nice sense of length in that leg. Springing back off the toes, holding the next one back to that leg lunge. With the bicep curl, drop that back knee down, keeping the head up looking forwards. Find a point you can keep your gaze on, just above head height. We've got 4 more. When you've done this last one, back to that step and touch. So that's done for your next standing physical activity session. So this could be used as a warm-up if you were going for a walk, out the bike. You could do a circuit session. So we're going to be using it for a warm-up in the circuit session, which I look forward to seeing you in soon. Thank you, and bye for now.